Welcome to BAMS Study Guide. Today we will discuss the subject Dravyaguna Vijnana. If you ask what is Dravyaguna Vijnana, it is an Ayurvedic science that studies medicinal substances and their effects on the human body. So in this subject, we don't just learn about herbs. We understand their properties, actions and how they are used in treatment. This forms a strong foundation for every BAMS student to connect classical knowledge with clinical practice. Therefore, not just herbs, this is where medicine begins in Ayurveda. In this video, we will understand the basics of Dravyaguna Vijnana, how Ayurvedic drugs act, and its historical background. We will also study classification of medicinal plants and its importance in BAMS along with clinical applications. Ayurveda follows a holistic approach where every substance can act as medicine when used correctly. As said by Charaka, the effect of any substance depends on its purpose, dosage and proper timing. Dravya, Guna and Karma, the Ayurvedic triad. Yatascha ayushyani anayushyani cha dravya guna karmani vedayatyato apyayurvedaha tatra ayushyani anayushyani cha dravya guna karmani kevalena upatekshante tantrena. Told by Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana 30th chapter 26th Shloka. In Ayurveda, every medicine is understood through three aspects: Dravya, Guna and Karma. Dravya is the substance, Guna are the qualities and Karma is its action. Together, these form the foundation for understanding how drugs work in the body. So, Dravya is what it is, Guna its properties and Karma what it does. So, this is the base of entire Dravyaguna. Let us define Dravyaguna Shastra. Dravyanam gunakarmani prayogaha vividhastata sarvasho yatra varnyante shastram dravyagunam hi tat. Dravyaguna Shastra is the science where the properties, action and uses of substances are described in detail. Dravya refers to the substance or drug or that which serves as the base for qualities and actions and acts as an inherent cause, and it is called as Dravya. Guna are the inherent qualities of a substance. Karma, it refers to the action produced by the substance. Prayoga means its therapeutic application. Thus, Dravyaguna Shastra systematically explains the properties, actions and uses of medicinal substances. Once again, Dravyaguna Vijnana is derived from the terms Dravya meaning substance and Guna meaning properties. It focuses on the study of medicinal plants and drugs, including their origin, nature, qualities, and their effects on the human body. It is considered Ayurveda's parallel to modern pharmacology as it includes aspects of pharmacognosy, pharmacology, and therapeutics. Overall, it forms the foundation of Ayurvedic treatment, dealing with raw materials, formulations, and their role in healing. Dravyaguna Vijnana can be broadly classified into different sections. It begins with Padartha Vijnana, which includes the basic principles like Sapta Padartha, which is Dravya, Guna, Rasa, Virya, Vipaka, Prabhava and Karma. Next is Dravya Vijnana, which deals with the systematic understanding of drugs. This includes Namarupa Vijnana, Yoga Vijnana, covering Guna, Karma and Prayoga, and finally Samyoga Vijnana. This science is divided into different branches. Pharmacognosy or Namarupa Vijnana deals with the various names, synonyms and morphological characteristics of drugs. Pharmacology, known as Gunakarma Vijnana, explains the properties and actions of drugs. And therapeutics or Prayoga Vijnana focuses on the use of drugs in different diseases, including dosage, Anupana and Patyapatya. Finally, pharmacy or Bhaishajya Kalpana under Samyoga Vijnana deals with the collection, storage and preparation of medicines. Ayurveda considers every substance as a potential medicine when used appropriately. A drug acts as a whole entity, not just as a sum of its individual parts. The action of any drug depends on 5 key concepts: Rasa, Guna, Virya, Vipaka and Prabhava, which together determines its overall effect on the body. Let us look at the factors that affect the potency of herbs. Seasonal changes influence their properties and effectiveness. The timing of collection is important as different plant parts are potent at different stages. Fresh herbs generally give better results, though well-preserved dried herbs can also be used. and ultimately the quality of herbs directly affects dosha balance and the effectiveness of treatment. Let's see how Ayurvedic practitioners integrate knowledge with practice. It starts with assessing the quality of each herb, its origin, appearance, aroma, and taste. They also need to consider changes that happen over time or due to storage and adjust the dosage or formulation accordingly. Most importantly, it's about combining knowledge with practical wisdom to ensure safe and effective treatment. Because this holistic approach not only treats the disease but also considers the patient's unique constitution and helps avoid unwanted effects. Let's take a quick glimpse into the history of Dravyaguna Vijnana. The use of plants as food and medicine goes back to prehistoric times when early humans depended on nature for survival and healing. Over time, they realized that some plants could heal while some others could harm, which became the basis of plant-based medicine. This knowledge led to the emergence of healers like priests and physicians who specialized in these remedies. Eventually, the need to understand and cultivate medicinal plants gave rise to plant sciences like botany and horticulture. This was the beginning of observation-based medical practice. Ancient humans realized that some plants could heal while others could be harmful, which led to the rise of healers like priests and physicians. Along with this, plant sciences like botany and horticulture also developed. As Hippocrates beautifully said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." Let's trace the evolution of Dravyaguna Vijnana. It can be understood through three key aspects: time, which reflects its development across different periods; literary development, which includes the contribution of classical texts; and drug classification systems, which help in organizing and understanding medicinal substances. Let's understand the stages in the evolution of Dravyaguna Vijnana. In the adoptive stage, early humans used natural substances directly for survival without much processing. In the adaptive stage, they began modifying and preparing drugs based on their environment and needs. And finally, in the creative stage, knowledge was used to innovate and develop new medicines. Different civilizations developed through their own systems of medicines over time. In China, texts like Pan Zhao were used, while Egyptian medicine included records like the Ebers Papyrus. In India, Ayurveda evolved with a focus on balance, natural substances, and holistic healing, showing that every culture had its own unique way of understanding health. Many ancient civilizations contributed to the development of drug knowledge. The Chinese recorded early herbal practices, while Babylonian texts included medicinal inscriptions. Persian medicine integrated knowledge from different cultures. Egyptians used substances like castor oil and opium, and later scholars like Avicenna documented detailed materia medica. In India, Ayurveda proved a rich classification of drugs through classical texts like Charaka and Sushruta Samhita. Materia medica is a Latin term that refers to the collected knowledge of substances used for healing. It includes details about their therapeutic properties as well as their preparation, dosage, and usage. Widely used from the Roman era up to the 20th century, Materia medica forms the foundation of modern pharmacology. Now, let's look at the historical mentions of Dravyaguna. It's a journey through ancient texts where we can see how the concept of Dravyaguna gradually evolved and developed into a distinct and important branch of Ayurveda. Let's understand the historical evolution of Dravyaguna through different periods. In the pre-Vedic period, plants were mainly used as food, and early humans also used barks and leaves for basic needs, gradually moving towards cultivation and showing reverence for nature. During the Vedic period, herbs were mentioned in the Vedas and used in rituals, healing, and spiritual practices. Later, in the post-Vedic period, Ayurveda developed more systematically with detailed classification and practical application of medicinal plants. In the pre-Vedic period, which includes prehistory and the Indus Valley civilization, plants were mainly used for basic needs like food and shelter. During the Paleolithic age, early humans used barks and leaves, and in the Neolithic age, cultivation began. There was also a sense of reverence towards plants seen in practices like tree worship. At this stage, knowledge was mainly oral and tribal with no structured texts, and plant names were mostly local or symbolic. In the Vedic period, the earliest references to medicinal plants are found in the Vedas, with numerous mentions in the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and especially the Atharva Veda. Herbs were not used just for healing but also in rituals and spiritual practices, often along with chants and hymns, showing deep respect for nature. Some important plants mentioned include Soma, known for its energizing properties, Ashwatha, considered the tree of life, Apamarga for cleansing, and Arka for its therapeutic and symbolic use. Vedic period, early Ayurvedic concepts. During this period, the use of medicine and plants is well documented in Vedic literature like the Samhitas, Upanishads, and Kalpasutras. The Rig Veda includes the Oshadhi Sukta, one of the oldest references that recognizes plants as sacred and powerful. The Soma plant is especially praised as the Aushadhi Raja, meaning the king of herbs. The Shukla Yajurveda also describes the medicinal properties, uses, and methods of collecting herbs. Rudimentary pharmacology in the Vedic period was closely connected with rituals and spirituality. There was a strong emphasis on single drug therapy using herbs like Bilva, Khadira, Palasha, Rohitaka, Kashmirya, and Sugandhi. Plants were considered divine gifts, with Surya and Prithvi seen as their parents and Apaha or water as the base for their growth. Practices like Yajna Karma also played a role, involving specific materials traditionally prepared from Udumbara wood. Let's understand the basics of Dravya in the Vedic period. Here, Rasa was described as Ap, meaning water or essence, and was considered the nourishing principle of plants. Concepts like Rasa, Virya, and Vipaka were also discussed, especially in the Atharva Veda, where Virya was seen as the active principle responsible for a drug's potency and action. Various therapeutic actions were mentioned as well, including Pramehakna, Vajikarana, Vishakna, Rakshokna, Keshavardhana, Vashikarana, Kriminashana, Kasahara, Rasayana, Nidrajanana, along with actions like Balya, Deepana, Rohana, and Sandhana. Let's explore how medicinal plants were classified in the Vedic period. During this time, different criteria were used to group plants based on their characteristics and uses. At the same time, identifying these plants was often challenging as knowledge was mostly traditional and not systematically documented. In the Vedic period, there was a unique comparison between plant parts and the human body. This reflects a holistic understanding of nature where both structure and function were seen as interconnected. These similarities helped guide the use of herbs in healing based on their analogy with different parts of body. In the Vedic period, different parts of the human body were compared with parts of plants to understand their functions better. For example, Loma was related to leaves and roots, Tvak to the outer layer of the plant, Rakta to plant exudates like resin, and Mamsa to the inner tissues. Similarly, Snayu, Asti, and Majja were compared to deeper structural parts like fibers, hardwood, and pith. These comparisons helped in understanding how plant parts could be used in healing. In the Vedic period, plants were also classified based on their origin, known as Udbhava Bodhaka. This classification depended on factors like place, region, season, or conditions of growth. For example, Plants like Krumija and Mriganabhi were classified based on their source or origin. Varshabhu refers to plants that grow during the rainy season, while Manduki describes plants whose leaves resemble a frog. Pushkara indicates plants growing in ponds or lakes, and Magadha refers to those originating from a specific region. Similarly, plants like Shailesha grow on rocks or mountains, and others like Jalaja and Vapya are classified based on their habitat. In the Vedic period, plants were also classified based on their structure known as Swarupa Bodhaka. This includes features like roots, stems, leaves, and overall form. For example, Ananta refers to deep-rooted plants, Jatamamsi to roots resembling matted hair, and Amula to plants without visible roots. Terms like Mahavriksha indicate large trees, while Chitraparni describes plants with variegated leaves, and Prasarini refers to spreading or creeping vines. Classification was also based on color, like Shweta for white and Lohita Vriksha for reddish plants, and special features like Punarnava, which regenerates annually, or Trivrit with a triangular stem. Broadly, plants were grouped as Oshadhi, meaning small herbs, and Vanaspati, referring to large trees. Plants were also classified based on their size and fruiting pattern. Vanaspati refers to large plants that bear fruits above their branches. Vanaspatya are similar but comparatively smaller in size. Oshadhi includes small seasonal herbs with medicinal value, and Virutha refers to creepers or climbers that grow by spreading or twining along a support. Plants were also classified based on their color. Shukla refers to white or pale colored herbs, Krishna to dark or black colored ones, and Rohini to those with a reddish or pinkish appearance. Plants were also classified based on their different parts, known as Avayavadharita classification. Some were identified by their stem, like plants with flexible or drooping stems such as Karavira. Others were classified based on their leaves, like Saptaparni, Triparni, and Panchangula, which have distinct leaf patterns. Classification was also done based on flowers, including Apushpa for non-flowering plants and varieties like Shatapushpa and Nagapushpa. Similarly, fruits were used as a basis with terms like Sadafala for plants that bear fruits regularly, Vrittafala for round fruits like Amalaki, and Dirghafala for long fruits like Aragvatha. Plants were further classified based on specific parts like seeds, roots, latex, and other structures. For example, seeds include Indrayava, Krishna Bija, and Chitra Bija. Roots are represented by plants like Shatamuli and Danti. Some plants are identified by their latex, such as Payasya and Swarnakshiri. Classification also includes features like Granthi or nodular structures, Kantaka or thorns as seen in Gokshura, and Sara, which refers to the essential part like Raktasara or Pitasara. Other aspects like bark, known as Valkala, and fine structures like Roma also help in identifying and classifying plants. Ayushkala Adharita classification. Punarnava refers to plants that regenerate every year, symbolizing renewal. Dhruva indicates long-lived plants that survive for many years, while Purvajata refers to very ancient species believed to live for centuries. Some plants were also named based on seasons like Vasanta, Sharada, and Graishmiki, based on their properties known as Gunabodhaka classification. This includes qualities like Rasa, Virya, Vipaka, Prabhava, and even features like smell, touch, and appearance, which influence their action on the body. For example, names like Madhura or Katuka indicate taste, while terms like Shita or Ushna reflect potency. Some are named based on their effect, like Krumija, or based on smell, such as Ashwagandha and Sarpagandha. These properties help in understanding the pharmacological action of the plant. Plants were also classified based on taste, known as Rasadharita classification. In some plants, sweetness is dominant at the tip, referred to as Madhuramagram. In others, the sweet taste is more prominent in the middle part, called Madhuman Madhyam. And in some cases, sweetness is mainly found in the root, known as Madhuman Moolam. Classification of plants based on their action is known as Karma Bodhaka classification. This includes general therapeutic actions like Apamarga for detoxification, Rohini for wound healing, and Urjayanti for boosting energy. Some are known for enhancing strength and immunity like Balasa Bheshaja and Atibala. There are also specific physiological actions such as Kilasa Nashana for skin disorders, Yakshma Nashini for respiratory conditions, and Keshavardhani for promoting hair growth. Other actions include Rechana, Krimikna, and Methya, showing the wide range of effects these plants can have on the body. There is another classification based on their usage known as Upayogadharita Karma Bodhaka classification. Atharvani refers to drugs used in rituals and ceremonies, while Angirasi includes herbs with antimicrobial properties. Further topics will continue in next video, and thank you for watching.